In today's episode, we're going to value some Bradley dolls and so much more. Hey everyone, my name's Chris. I'm a full-time beauty pageant director as my career, but in my spare time, I'm a huge toy collector. I've been collecting toys now for over 40 years. You can officially call me a toyaholic. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. My channel consists mainly of two things: beauty pageants, which I love, and toys, which I love even more. My dream in life has always been to own a toy museum, so it's finally happened. I've bought a building, and now I've got to move this massive collection and value it into the building. We're calling it the Toy Vault because it's an old bank building located in Crystal Springs, Mississippi that actually has two large vaults. So now I'm just going to make a ton of videos and value my toy collection, and then I'm going to make some where I take you shopping with me to thrift stores and flea markets and toy stores to let you see where I find all these goodies. So let's start this episode of valuing my toy collection and value some toys. Well, in today's episode, we're going to start off by valuing some Bradley dolls, or as some people call them, the big-eyed dolls. First, we'll start with this orange one. She's worth about $10. And I'm going to show you the bottom. It's just a plastic bottom, so that doesn't mean it's necessarily a Bradley doll. It could be a cheaper knockoff version. And here's our green one, worth about $10. Now, this one still has the Bradley tag on it, and they are a little bit heavier than the knockoff dolls. And this one in the white and blue is worth about $10, even though it looks like she had a hat on at one time. And if you look on the bottom, it does say Bradley dolls made in Korea. And then we have this one in the rose outfit. She's worth about $10 as well, but you see I got her at a thrift store for $4.98. This one in the red with white lace, she's worth about $12, even though her face is a little faded, but her outfit's really cool. This really tall one with the purple is missing her stand, but she's worth about $15 because she's so large. Red one with the hat, she's worth about $12. I picked these up everywhere. I went to an estate sale and got this really large cream colored one, and she's worth about $20. And then I got this graduate one at a thrift store. She's worth about $20. And then the lilac one with the orange, also worth about $20, that I got at that same estate sale. Then here's some more. This red one with the black and white lace, she's worth about $15. She's a little fancier. This white one I actually saved out of the trash. My mom threw this away 30, 40 years ago, and I just didn't want her to throw it away. Probably worth about $10. And this one's sitting on a stool. It's worth about $20. I got that in Vegas at a flea market. Here's a couple more of the lightweight ones. These usually average about $10 when you see them at flea market, sometimes a little bit more. And then this one in the white or cream color coming up, she's a music box, so she's worth about $15. And then this one with a maroon dress on, she's more realistic, and she's about $15 as well. She is a Bradley doll, and I think that I got that at a thrift store in Hattiesburg, just for a couple dollars. The little bride and groom, they're worth about $25. They're extremely hard to find, and they are from Bradley. And then these two realistic smaller dolls, they're worth about $10 each. And then we have three of the super lightweight plastic ones, and they're worth about $5 each. Moving on from the Bradley dolls, when you think of the 70s, you also think of 70s Avon bottles. We'll start with this little frog Avon bottle. He's worth about $10. And this little jar is worth about $5. The little yellow coffee pot's worth about $10. And this small little bottle is probably worth about $3. Now, this blue powder box from the 60s called Rapture Beauty is worth $15, and the little seahorse bottle is worth about $10. Then this Avon 2004 Rose Circle Award plate's worth $15. This little green jar is worth about $3. And this one is called Bird of Paradise, worth about $8, and this little bottle of perfume is worth about $5. The small metal clock is worth about $10. The armoire is worth $10, and the big grandfather clock's also worth about $10. This was actually my mom's. She had it forever in her bathroom, probably only worth $5 because the top is cracked, but I'm going to fix that, but it's priceless to me because it reminds me of her. We have the grandfather clock, which is called Fragrant Hours, with the box worth $18, and then from 1979, a California Keepsake Anniversary bottle in the box worth $20. It still has the perfume, and I still like the way that smells. We have a Laddie Deep Woods aftershave where he's shaped like a lassie, and it's worth about $12 with the box. Then we have the Model A car with the box, worth about $12. This is kind of different. It's a hearth lamp still in the box, and I don't know, it looks like it's a cup, but that's kind of dangerous with a bottle of perfume. And the box is kind of cool. It just shows a living room scene, and this is worth about $15. All right, then we have the jukebox still in the box, worth about $15. And then a Volkswagen still in the box, worth about $15. And then we have this little horse still in the box, and he's worth about $16. Another powder box from the 60s from Avon, and this one's worth about $15. Have some old box of chocolates. They don't have the chocolates in them anymore, but these are so cool from the 80s that had flowers on them, and they're worth about $15 each. Now I have some dollhouse furniture. This little pink set of furniture is kind of generic, probably worth about $10. And this little cabinet with the dishes, it's worth about $8. And then we have a little frame picture worth about $4. And from the Prince of Egypt doll line, we have the dog that's worth about $6. He's super cute. We have a Barbie TV that's worth about $10. And here's my helper Daisy. Don't mind me being in shorts, but she likes to bother me when I am trying to videotape this stuff. All right, back to the video. We've got these two lamp posts. They're worth about $8 for the set. And then we have a little Kelly doll worth about $3. This little set of accessories is worth about $6. A little sandcastle, $1. The aquarium leaves we'll put with our SpongeBob stuff's worth about $1. And the Barbie grandfather clock's worth about $6. We have a jean hat box that's worth $7. And a little plant for their living room worth $1. Got this Jacqueline Kennedy paper doll set, and it's worth about $25 still in the package. Found this little Barbie stage. Oh, Lord. Here's Daisy again. She wants me to play with her toy. We'll do that in a minute, Daisy. This little stand's worth $100. And the doll cabinet that I had everything in is very cool from the 70s. It's a bookshelf. It's worth about $125. Then we have Daisy by the fan because we are moving everything out of this house and we don't have the air conditioner on. Here's a 1978 Barbie Dream House, and it's worth about $200. I'm going to take everything out of it and price it. Here's a Barbie Star Traveler still in the box, and it's worth about $150. And then we have the Barbie Super Vet worth about $45, and then a different version of it worth $45. Have this little embroidered three-circle frame worth $12, and our Shirley paper dolls are worth about $5. Have this little print with some different TV shows in it worth about $5. And these cool little 70s, I guess that's not crocheted, but they're $5 each, and they're cool. In the Barbie house, I took out all the furniture. The chandelier is worth about $3, and these Barbie couches or sofas are worth $15 each. I have two of those. The little table is worth about $6, and the little computer is worth $5. I've got all these little accessories that are worth about $2 each. They're just little miscellaneous pieces. So that's about $12 for all that. And then we have another set of accessories. All these are worth about $1 each, and altogether that's worth about another $12. All right, we have a Barbie toilet worth about $15, even though it's a little faded. Got this little metal flower sculpture worth about $5. And then from Memphis, Tennessee, this little souvenir chest, and it's worth about $5. Vintage little teapot sifter is worth about $10. And then we have this kind of generic cheap Barbie furniture. It's not really Barbie furniture, it's just doll furniture. And I figure they're all worth about $3 each. They're not very valuable, but I'll put them in some dollhouse. Now this vintage bed we have, it's worth about $18. All right, then we have this little Allen and Skipper little fold out. It's kind of like a catalog worth $10, and then this Barbie catalog's worth $10 as well. Shows all the different fashions from the, I believe that's 60s or 70s. The little rug worth about $3. And then there's you know who, Daisy. This little vase with the vintage flowers is worth about $5. And then the Barbie TV on the stand is worth about $12. This is from the suntan Barbie. It's her little bag worth about $4. The little cups and pitchers are worth about $5. And the coffee table's worth about $12. The chairs are worth $12 each, and that couch is worth $15. The little blue tea set's worth about $4. And this coffee table is from 2003. The Mycene Barbie coffee shop worth $15. And then the lamps from the same set worth about $12. This little vase of flowers worth about $1, and this cool 70s little curio cabinet's worth about $10. And the red ottoman from the Mycene coffee shop's worth $8. This vintage butterfly pitcher's worth about $3, and this Dream House Barbie catalog is worth about $10. This little vintage Barbie stove is worth about $15, and I love those colors. And the Mycene coffee shop couch is worth about $20. Victorian plate's worth about $4, and the little blue tea set's worth about $5. I have this little set of pink plates worth about $5, and the orange cookware is worth at least $10. And this little table's worth $2, and the globe is worth about $8. And these little patio furniture pieces are worth about $5 for the set. All this little food, probably worth about $5. And then we have this vintage kitchen set. It's not Barbie, it's an off-brand, but worth about $15. And then we have this cool cat lady sitting in a wicker chair with an extra cat. That cat has a backstory I just don't have time to tell you, but it's hilarious. Worth about $25. Then we have a Bradley doll sitting down, worth about $20. And then this cool ceramic lady sitting in a really nice chair worth about $15. Two vintage little girl bells worth about $6 each. And this little May girl bell, a Joseph original, worth $15. The little girl in the glass bubble from the 80s is worth about $10. And then we have four of these really cute little ceramic girls, and they're worth about $5 each. Now getting into some Barbies, we have a ton of Barbies on these shelves. So all these Barbies in this little group here, I think we have 5, and they're all a little bit special, so these are probably worth about $10 each. A lot of the Barbies we just do $5 each. Now our Dallas Cowboy cheerleader doll is worth about $45. Silk and Flame reproduction doll from 1997 is worth about $25. And then this reproduction doll in the swimsuit is also worth about $25. And then we have the Grandma Barbie. She's worth about $40. She's hard to find. All right, then we have kind of what we call the normal dolls. We have 6 right here. And look who's there helping, our Golden Doodle Daisy. And these are all worth about $5 each, so that's $30 more. And then here's another set of 6 that will do about $5 each. I just don't have the heart to get rid of them. And then this set's a little more valuable. That's a Babysitter Club doll from 1998 called Claudia Kissy, worth $20. And then all these other dolls here on this little line are worth about $10 each. So it's another $40 we can add to our total. That one in the yellow is from the 70s, I believe. Then we have some Shirley Temple dolls still in the box. These are from the Ideal Company, and these are worth about $15 each. And then we have this little ceramic Shirley Temple sitting in a chair worth about $15. And then we have our Inspector Daisy that is looking at our big Shirley Temple doll. She's large and in charge, and she's worth about $150. She has a little Shirley Temple name right there on her collar. These dolls I pulled out of the dollhouse. I don't know a lot about them. I think that's a vintage Skipper and some Scooter and Skippers with haircuts. So all together, I am gonna put a price tag on this little row of dolls of about $90, and this little Japanese doll about $12 more. And then we have another row of dolls here. All these are going to be worth about $5 each, so that's $30. And then this row, they're a little more special. These dolls would be more like $10 each. And I think that is a Peaches and Cream Barbie worth about $25. And just here's a ton of $5 dolls. Some of them might be worth more than that, but I'm just doing $5 to make it easy on myself. And there's a total of 24 right here. So that's another $120 we can add. Some of the nicer ones I just pulled out and put on eBay to sell, and I'm already up to over $300, and I put 22 dolls on there, and several don't even have bids yet. Now these few dolls here in this row, these are all worth about $10 each, so that's another $60 we can add to our total with these 6. Doll is a Lisa Hayes doll from Robotech from 1985, worth about $20. And here we have 12 more dolls, all worth about $5 each. That one might be a talking Barbie. She might be worth more than that. But like I said, I'm just doing $5 to make it easy on myself. One day I might sell these, but I'm probably just going to line these up on shelves in the toy museums, kind of like on little stairs or something. All right, this is a Patriot Barbie from 1996, worth $15. And then we have these other 4 dolls worth at least $10 each. That's a Native American doll of the world there. And then we have 12 more dolls that will value at about $5 each. Some of them are worth more than that, like I said, but I just don't have the time to look up every single doll. And there's you-know-who's tail that's helping us. I love her so much. She's a golden doodle, and she's 10 months old. And then just randomly, we have a ton of cans that we saved. Some of these go back from the 80s, but they're all worth about $2 each. I looked up the cans, and the lowest they sell for is $2, and they go all the way up to about 5 or 6 each, depending on what the can is. But when I was just starting out in my 20s, I had hundreds of cans, and I hot glued them all together and put a glass top on it and made like a sofa table out of it. It was pretty cool. And I ended up keeping the ones that were kind of cool. But we have 84 cans, and they're worth about $2 each. So what is that? $168 worth of cans. And I'll probably just put these in some cabinet somewhere at the toy museum. I don't know. I've got so much stuff. But I don't even know if they make these plastic ring holders anymore. I know they weren't good for the environment, but I had a couple where I had put the cans together on those to make 6 packs. But it's a great way to store them. I kind of need to see if they still make those. I bet they do. But when I was younger, I always was told when people threw those out, it could choke like baby ducks and birds and stuff that got caught in them. So I never threw them out because I don't litter anyway. And you might have noticed in some of these 6 packs, there's some cans that say Mississippi Cola. That was definitely from the 80s because I thought that was so cool when they came out. And there were probably 5 or 6 different flavors, and I kept those. Actually, my very first job I ever had was at a convenience store. My aunt was the manager there, and she asked me to work there, and I tried it, and it was actually pretty good for me. I led such a sheltered life growing up. That woke me up really fast at what kind of people in the world, because you deal with some crazies if you work at a convenience store. But I did that to pay my way through college. Well, in our previous 449 videos of value in my toy collection, our total was $1,109,953. And then when we add this video of our Barbies, our Bradley dolls, our Avon stuff, and our aluminum cans, we can add another $3,114 to our overall grand total. So that means for episode 450 of Value in My Toy Collection, our overall grand total is $1,113,067. I always wanted to say I have $1 million toy collection, and now I can. But I'm not a millionaire. I've just been saving toys all my life, going to thrift stores and flea markets, garage sales, toy stores, and looking online, and it just accumulated to this big old total. Maybe one day when I'm old enough to retire, I can sell it all and have money to enjoy my life. Who knows? Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I am making them. I love seeing what all I have and what's been stored and how much it's actually worth, because it's just been collecting dust for all these years. And I'm putting all the toys on our Facebook page, which is called the Toy Vault of Mississippi. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do, because it certainly helps us grow. So until our next video, we will see you then.